Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Sunday, the 6th of November 2022. Today's Millwall news, we're going to start off with the 4 takeaways piece from the South London Press at londonnewsonline.co.uk. 4 takeaways for Millwall's den stalemate with Hull City. Clean sheet is a positive, but Lions can't crack low block. Millwall drew 0-0 with Hull on Saturday, their fourth draw of the Championship campaign, dropping them to 10th in the table. Here are Richard Corley's takeaways from the match. Lions can't punish Stupinan's red card. Charlie Cresswell was left looking like Rocky Balboa post his first fight with Apollo Creed after taking Oscar Espinan's high boot straight to the face. The Colombian striker didn't intend to injure the Leeds loanee. It was an easy red card offence for referee John Busby, who seemed far less willing to penalise Hull's attempts to disrupt Jake Cooper in the air. Hull's attacking intent stopped as soon as the Stupinan walked, but I tweeted that while it was one-way traffic in the second half, it was not fast-moving or dangerous enough. Mill struggled to cut through a City side that sat in a low block and defended the box well. The closest they came was some nice approach play, which ended with goalkeeper Nathan Baxter tipping over to frustrate Scott Malone. Mill had 24 attempts, but only 6 of those were on target. Baxter was protected brilliantly by the players in front of him. Clean sheets are racking up. While Mill's attacking deficiencies have already been touched on above, it's worth talking about their latest shutout. The Lions now have 6 clean sheets in the Championship, 2 more than they had after 19 games in the previous season. And until the 0-0 at Birmingham City on Wednesday night, they had all come out the den. George Long had to dive to his right to push away a curling Stupinan strike in the 19th minute, but that was about his only serious save of note. The Lions keeper has quite often been underworked since he came into the side, and their defensive resilience has got to be pleasing. Fleming still showing signs. Millwall's club record signings. Ian Fleming is now 5 games without a goal, but his overall performance against Hull City was by no means without merit. The Amsterdam attacker produced a wicked free kick in the first period that left Baxter motionless, knowing he would not get across the goal, only for it to whip just past the left upright. And Fleming was also heavily involved at the start and end of a rare fluid attack by Millwall, only for him to be unable to get more spite into his finish. He made the most passes and touches of any of the Lions' attacking players, but there were plenty of signs that he'll be back on the score sheet again very soon. Break on the horizon. Mill only have one more match to play at Preston North End before the Championship goes into hibernation for a few weeks to coincide with the start of the World Cup. The Lions won't have anyone representing them at the tournament in Qatar, and they've been able to slot in their rearranged fixture at Sunderland for December the 3rd to get back to business a little sooner than some other teams. What the break will do is hopefully mean that Sean Hutchinson, Ben Kobe and Ryan Laird are back from their injuries. Millwall won't be any different to any other club, but it gives them a chance to boost their selection options as players come back, but their squad lacks the depth of some of the teams they hope to rival in their top 6 zoo. Yes, I've said this before. We seem to have shortened our break. Other teams haven't done that. So it could go either way. This could screw us, or it could benefit us greatly. If we're the only ones zigging and everyone's zagging, and being a zagger is not a good thing, but being a zigger is a good thing, we could start flying up the league. But softly, let's go to Preston and try and do something there before we talk about anything else. So, also from londonnewsonline.co.uk, there he is, smiling, Gary Rowett, and what has he said? Mill boss points to a number of reasons for his side not scoring for the 3rd Championship match in a row. Indeed, 3 matches in a row without a goal. Mill manager Gary Rowett has explained why he's not overly concerned at them producing a 3rd Championship game without a goal. The Lions drew 0-0 with Hull City on Saturday. The visitors, who appointed Liam Rossini as their new boss at the end of the week, played the entire second period down to 10 men after Oscar Stupinan straight red card for a high boot on Charlie Cresswell. Rowett felt there were a number of reasons for Millwall blanking SC16 this week. Having someone like Bennett available in a game like today would have been a massive plus for us in those tight spaces, said the Millwall boss. We're all probably a little bit disappointed in the dressing room, but we're sat there having won 4 games, drawn 3 and lost 1 in the last 8. It's in the Championship. We've got to find different ways to win games. Against West Brom here, we recently we found a different way to win the game in the last minute, more or less. Today we couldn't find that. We've got to work harder. We've got to improve our ability to do that, because there's going to be other games this season where we need to break things down. We're frustrated, but I don't necessarily think that the 3 games without goals is a problem. We're not one of the lowest scoring teams in the division. It's another clean sheet, which we should get, and you're just hoping that one of those players just finds that little bit of extra quality. Hull are in 21st position, I think, and they've got someone like Sari, who no doubt will be on twice as much as any of our players. You're playing against teams with good quality, and we've got to work so hard to win those games of football. We'll keep trying to do that. So yeah, I don't know why he's saying like Hull are in 21st. So Hull are in 21st position. Huddersfield are at the bottom of the table, and we struggled against those 2 teams. We know historically we struggle against weaker teams than us, and we do better against better teams. Now, why is that? Well, Hull basically defended for 45 minutes, and we struggle to break teams down. We play on the counter generally, so if they're not attacking, we can't counter attack and stuff like that. But yeah, although I would say so, some positives: 2 clean sheets in a row. First away clean sheet against Birmingham. That's all right, and at least we didn't lose. What can you say? Millwall frustrated by foul play during set pieces. The Lions failed to threat from any of their set piece routines against Hull City. No wonder. Look at that. Look at that. You got little Ryan Woods there. Little Ryan Woods, basically trying to claw at Jake Cooper, and then the other guy's there with literally his arm around Jake Cooper and basically a headlock. And the referee saw no evil. That's great, that is, isn't it? So Garrett was left frustrated by the way that Hull City manhandled Jake Cooper during their 0-0 draw at the Den. The Lions were presented with a number of opportunities to score from set pieces, something which they've done more than any other team in the Championship so far this season, but were unable to provide consistent deliveries onto the head of the 27-year-old centre-back. When the deliveries were accurate, the Tigers opted to throw Cooper to the ground, often dragging him down before the hosts were able to execute a threatening set-piece routine. Referee John Busby ended up turning a blind eye to the incidents, infuriating Rowett as a result. On board saying it, I said about it to the 4th official. The 4th official said to the referee, is aware of it. I don't know how aware of it you need to be. Look, the opposition are going to do whatever they're going to do to stop our man at the set pieces, to have both arms around Coops, literally, from the time he steps up to take the free kick and the time he's about to head it. For me, at some point, you have to punish that. If we've done the same thing, it should be equally punished. There was one late on where Coops grabs the lad's shirt in the box, and you can have the same argument. I ask the referees and officials all the time, and they say, oh, they are both doing it. So Coops trying to score is allegedly trying to hold the lad at the same time that he's jumping, which seems a little bit stupid and strange to me. I can't blame the officials today for us not winning the game, but we need to show more quality. That is 3 games now where teams have literally nullified Coops on set pieces by fouling him every time. You need an official who's a little bit braver and has a bit more common sense to give a decision. Indeed, indeed. But we do know at the start of the season they were told to allow a bit more physicality in the games. But this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, just look at this picture here again. Let's have a look at this. What's going on here, man? What is that about? Anyway, so we're going to move on to the stats now. Yay! I'm sure you're all clicking off right now. This is from Experimental 361, and it's the expected goals over the length of the match, and the lines are the teams, attempts on goals. When the line goes up, that's a shot on goal, and when it doesn't, that's not. So you can see in the second half, the yellow line is flat. Absolutely flat. They did not have any XG in the second half, did Hull City. And it looks like in the first half, they only had 1, 2, 3, 4 shots that produced XG. So there you go. And ironically, like I said, our two best efforts seem to be in the first half. So when Hull turned into just full on 45 minutes of defence, the chances we created weren't very good. They weren't very clear cut. Which you can see in the first half, the blue line that jumps up higher after about the 10th minute, and then after about the 35th minute. That was it. So you can see here, top players by XG, Fleming 0.8, Cooper 0.6, and Bradshaw 0.3. 0.8 is basically a penalty. His one penalty is 0.8. So Simon Fleming had enough chances to basically score one goal. He should have scored on his own. But the team XG for Millwall was 2.4 and Hull's was 0.6. So you can see that was that's ridiculous. We should be scoring at least one goal. We should have scored between 2 and 3. We had enough chances to score between 2 and 3. So it's always binary, either 2 or 3. We scored 0. We massively underperformed. So moving on to the shot map from InfoGoal.net, which I love. They give the XG as 2.78 to Millwall and 0.45 to Hull. And there's Millwall's attempts on goal there. Absolutely crazy. It looks like someone sneezed on the screen. Shots from happening from all over the place. And we've got the 4 best chances. Jake Cooper on the 10 minute. Simon Fleming on the 36 minute. Vogelsam on 90 plus 1. And Tom Bradshaw 69. And here are Hull attempts. They had one good one. Long man, 21 minutes, and then another one in the area and 4 outside. So again, they didn't do a lot. We did a lot. Didn't get any rewards for it. So here's the first half. So you can see first half. So basically, that is it. Our Hull's one hasn't changed. It's the same. As you'll see in a second when we go to the second half, they didn't have a shot on top. They didn't have a shot at all in the second half. And we had all of these shots. Insane amount of shots that we had. Incredible. Someone who shot all the way out there. Only 90 plus 2. Yeah, they just couldn't get through, could they? Just couldn't break through. Let's move on to whoscored.com, and you look on the right, you can see who got man of the match. Well, it was their goalkeeper, so kind of understandable. And how many shots did Fleming have? 7. He had 7 shots. He didn't score. That's kind of flagrant, but he's still learning. He is still learning. He does seem to be improving. His play's getting better. But when you're having 7 shots, son, you probably need to be scoring. If you're not, if it's not your day, if you have 3 or 4 and you haven't scored yet, maybe you should concentrate on like setting other people up, especially if you're like a very creative player, and you've got the eye and the talent to set up goals for other people. Maybe stop shooting and let get an assist or 2. So, Samil will create a high number of chances relative to their possession, were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces, but were poor at finishing. No shit. Had a large quantity of possession in their opponent's half, attacked through the middle, a high shot frequency when in possession, and favoured crossing the ball. And there you can see it, 24. Holy fucking moly. 24 attempts on goal to 6 for Hull. 16 to 3 in open play, 8 to 3 set pieces, and neither team scored. And that's where we basically even across the pitch. They were mostly going down the right. If we should look at shot directions, okay, Millwall on the left in the red for some reason. That's how this website does it. Home team red, away team blue. So shot zones and action zones. Look at that. Player positions. Interesting there. Why have we got 2016 and 19 all in that kind of area there? Are they trying to target Cresswell and McNamara? Okay. You can see he's very attacking for Mill. Look how, seeing as we were mostly in their half, look how high the centre backs are on the halfway line. It's that's how it was. Now moving on to the match centre from WhoScored.com. Here are the match events. Yellow card and then a red card on the 37th minute. Substitutions taking place. And so here we go. If you look at the club badges in the top left and right, you can see 6.73 is the average Millwall player rating and 6.70 is the average Hull player rating. So in terms of player ratings, that's pretty close. Not much in it, because obviously as we're attacking and not scoring, they're defending for their lives and doing very well at it. So that's how that gets boosted up. In terms of Millwall, it looks like, who have we got? Malone. 7.9 for Malone. Cresswell 7.4. Long 7.1. Interesting. Okay. So in front of a crowd of 14,488. Player ratings, you've seen them. Total shots 24 to 6. Who had the shots? Bradshaw with 3, Fleming with 7, Cooper with 3, Malone with 3. Pass success percentage, we had more possession. Oh, this is possession percentage. 54 to 46. And Malone was on the ball 8.2% of match time. Cresswell 8.8. And they were the two main ones for Millwall. In the whole game, actually. Pass success percentage, we outdid them in that as well, 83 to 80. Of course, because they were defending for their lives, really, and we had the cream of the crops passing it around. 94 for Billy Mitchell. 80s for a lot of the players here. Bradshaw 57, Burry 71, and Malone 76. Dribbles 8 to 5. Of course, Burry, he's very good at that. Aerials 1, 20 to 22. So we didn't win the aerial battle. Obviously, we didn't get help from the referee. That's been previously mentioned in the stories earlier. Tackles 15 to 12, so we did win that. Malone with 5 tackles. Yeah, because we saw earlier they were mostly going down the right hand side, so he would have had to do that. Corners 10 to 2. Dispossessed 7 to 10. So let's go to the table of numbers and have a look here. Scott Malone 7.93, Charlie Cresswell 7.41, George Long 7.05, George Saville 7.04, despite being taken off in 65 minutes. Was that a wrong decision to do that? Billy Mitchell 7. Okay, so we've got those 5 players getting 7 or above. Did anyone get a low score? Tom Bradshaw, 6.06, despite playing 90 minutes, and he got beaten by George Evans and Vogelsammer and Styles and Bennett. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe he should have been taken off earlier instead of the other people. When you're having so many shots and you're not scoring, maybe you need to change the person up front. Especially when you're playing 4-2-3-1. That 1 isn't getting the goals. Change the 1. Get Bradshaw off, put someone else on. But they didn't seem to do that. So who had the most touches for Millwall? Scott Malone 95, Cresswell 86, and then a massive drop off to Cooper and Billy Mitchell. Obviously we heard about shots. We had 24 shots, and there you can see Simon Fleming 7 shots, but only 1 shot on target. Scott Malone 3-1, Cooper 3-1, Bradshaw 3-1. So we had 24 shots. How many were on target? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is shit. That is a quarter. 24, 6. That's a quarter. 6 is a quarter of 24. That's really not good enough. And when you've got 6 shots on target, you should be scoring at least a goal. At least 1. While we're here, let's have a look. So obviously the goalkeeper's 8.71. How many shots did they have? How many shots? So they had 6, I believe. How many on target? 2. Okay. Moving on to offensive. Anyone offside? Just the one offside from Bradshaw, which was the goal. He got the ball in the net. Well, the goal in quotes. He got the ball in the net and was offside. Defensively, tackles. Malone 5, Saville 3, Honeyman 3. So kind of weird. So you got Malone with 5 tackles, he's top. Then you've got the next 4 players were leading in tackles. And they all got subbed off. I would say if you got people who can tackle, that's going to help you get the ball back, no? If you're trying to score a goal. Maybe it's just me. Interceptions, Malone with 4. Honeyman 2, Billy Mitchell 2. George Saville 1. Okay, clearances. Jacob with 2. Block shots. So Jake Cooper blocked 1 shot. So they had 2 shots on target. Jake Cooper blocked 1 of them, and George Long must have saved 1 of them. Passing wise, what have we got here? Had the most passes. Charlie Cresswell 80, Malone 58. That's a massive gap there between Cresswell and Malone. And then it drops off quite a bit. And you've got the numbers there for Billy Mitchell, 48 passes, 93.8% accuracy on them. That's pretty good, but in terms of Charlie Cresswell's up there, obviously a lot of side passes to defenders without being pressed. It's going to be pretty easy to get an accuracy that high off of that, isn't it? So let's have a look at crosses and accurate crosses. Oh dear, 16 and 3 for Scott Malone, 10 and 2 for Honeyman. Simon Fleming 2 and 0. Long balls and accurate long balls. So interestingly, showing how desperate we were, Malone and Cresswell had more long balls than the keeper George Long, which never happens when all the time I've been doing this chart of you go to this and look at the long balls, the goalkeeper, whether that's Bar or George, they've already got the most long balls. So this is kind of weird. So Scott Malone, Charlie Cresswell pumping it forward, pumping it up. trying to get it into the mixer. And they're quite accurate with it, actually. 15 and 8 and 11 and 6. George long threes ones were 8 and 3. So he's had 8 long balls, so he's had 15 passes overall, so that is 7 short passes. And he has a pass accuracy of 66.7, which is very, very high for him. And obviously that's because of the 7 short passes, I would imagine. I'm impressed. So look how many. This is pretty good with the accurate long balls here. Look at this. 4 and 3 for Mitchell, 4 and 2. George Evans. Look, George Evans come on 85th minute, 4 and 2. He's just pumping balls up there, trying to get in there. Yeah. So let's go back to the ratings, and you can see 7.93 for Malone. Because he had a lot to do going forward. He had a lot to do defensively as well. He had the most tackles in the game. I imagine that's what that's for. But you can see George Saville still up there, despite only playing 65 minutes on the pitch. And you've got Mason Bennett. So was that a poor selection from was that poor team selection from Gary out there? Should Bradshaw have been subbed off? I mean, he's the lowest rated Millwall player apart from Jamie Shackleton, and he played 90 minutes. He's been beaten by most of the subs for score for ratings. Which, when he's had 90 minutes on the pitch, and you got Vogelsang, what is that, 30? You got George Evans with 20, and they're getting higher scores than him in less than half the time. And that's because they're doing more stuff, more positive stuff. Interesting. Okay. We did have Isaac Loughlin, interestingly, and he was not used. They chose instead to bring George Evans on, and took George Saville off, despite being quite good at what he was doing. Was there a problem there? Was he gassed out? He has come back from illness, so he's probably missed a fair bit of training. I don't know if you've ever been sick. It does knock the wind out of you, doesn't it? Anyway, we move on to Preston North End away. Let's just quickly have a look at the table. Let's punish ourselves with this. So here we are. We are in 10th. And interestingly, so the 2 draws in a row kind of just caught us up with everyone, because we were weirdly quite low in draws, which for us, we were on 2, and now we've had 2 in 2 games. We're up to 4. And Blackburn are the weirdos with 0 draws in 20 games. They either win or they lose. Very binary. So yeah, 10th, 28 points. There's a stack of 3 teams in front of us on 29 points. We've got a game in hand of Preston, who we play next. So, dare I say, a draw would actually be a decent result at Preston. And they have drawn 7 games. While we're here, let's just have a little quick. So Preston's home form. Where are they? 16th. So they're not very good at home. They've only scored 5 goals and conceded 7, though. So this has got all the fucking hallmarkings of a 0-0 as well, isn't it? But in terms of away, of course, we are absolute dog shit. We are the worst, one of the worst away teams in the league. We are second bottom. We've got the games that we've, Bristol City win, Birmingham draw, which was our first away clean sheet of the season. The Rotherham draw, and then way back the Swansea draw. That was 2 late own goals that gave us a draw there. And that's all we've got on our travels so far this season. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.